Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. With me, Axel Raven, and Indian Thing.
I'll be right back. We're having a conversation.
He's going to be back. He's going to go find his cigarettes. This episode here is actually not a joke. I mean, we did start it out with a little joke, a little humor there, because this episode here is kind of serious. It's an episode that me and Izzy and Michael and all of us have been wanting to do for a while, ever since Controversial Corner started, and that is to pay homage and tribute to the fallen pro wrestlers that are no longer with us, like the Chris Candinos, Chris Canyons, Big John Studd, Andre the Giant,
Bam Bam Bigelow, Chris Benoit, Owen Hart, Kurt Hennig, Randy Savage, Hawk.
Yeah, definitely. The Macho Man, oh yeah. So on and so on. Bad News Brown, Lena Vachon, Miss Elizabeth, Sherry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the greats that we've lost in the past 20 years. Some of them are just, was such a shocker. Like Ellen and Eddie and Chris and Randy Savage, Mr. Perfect. Luna, they were Bam. I mean, these guys, they're all a shocker. Especially Benoit. I mean, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate on this video.
You know what? People that hate because we're talking good about a man who was probably the greatest technical wrestler to ever step foot in the business and go fuck themselves.
That's the way I feel. You're probably going to hear much profanity out of me today in this episode. But if I do, just laugh out. With Chris, I mean, it was such a shocker. I mean, it was 1 minute he was on ECW, and we thought for sure it was going to be Chris Benoit versus CM Punk at the main event for the fight, to become the new ECW champion. And then Sunday he didn't show up for that show. Monday night on Raw, we turned on the TV, and there it was.
The first time that this man ever broke the storyline, too.
Yeah, in loving memory of Chris and Nancy and Daniel Benoit. I will never forget that time in my life. It was probably one of the saddest moments I can remember in the wrestling business for me. Because I was one of the many who, at WrestleMania 20, sat on the edge of the buddy James the Clown's bed. And then not James from XCW, the original James the Clown from XCW. His bed with this man right here beside me, and Michael Raven, we were all sitting there, and we were cheering for Triple H to tap. And I don't know about the rest of you people, but when Triple H tapped, it was probably the most awesomest thing that I've ever seen at a WrestleMania. I was so excited. I felt like when Chris Benoit won that World Heavyweight title, that I won the World Heavyweight title.
This man here has known me for damn near 20 years, and he'll even tell you that was the first time he ever seen me cry.
We all shed a tear for Benoit because we knew that the time he's put in this business, he deserved that title a long time ago. And, to see Eddie come out there as a WWE champion, I mean, it was magical. It was best friends, and they were both at the top of their game. They were both the champions. And to think that we lost them both 2 years apart, it sucks. I mean, it really does, because, there's never going to be another Chris Benoit. There will never be another Eddie Guerrero.
And the worst part about it is they were just starting to hit their peak.
I mean, they were becoming household names. I mean, those guys have been in the business for over 20 years. I mean, they were busting their asses, But they finally got to the spot where they belonged. They were at the top of the game. They were main eventers. and then, bam, everything.
Now, just to change subjects a little bit, we should talk about one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, the WWE World Champion. And that is the Perfect One himself.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect.
A man who I modeled much of my wrestling style after.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect, I mean, as a youngin', you know, as we all know, you know, I mean, like I said before, I was a fan of Ravens and the Macho Man Randy Savage and Bret the Man Hart. Big time Bret Hart fan. Anybody who knows me knows that I own every DVD collection. The man.
Greatest match, one of the greatest matches of all time, Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect for the Intercontinental title.
Yep.
And a lot of people, unless you've seen the Mr. Perfect DVD, don't know this. Mr. Perfect wrestled that entire match with two slow burgers.
That's right. And he did that because it was Bret. Him and Bret were that close. He knew it was time for Bret to step up and be the champion Bret was. And, you know, that's one thing, you know, I had a lot of respect for Bret. I mean, even back then as a kid, I thought Mr. Perfect was so awesome. I thought he was America's Bret the Man. And, you know, Kurt, when you're up there and you're smiling down on a lot of these technical guys who work, you know, technical sound in the ring, but none of them can be perfect. Perfect is gone. But, you know, that's just like, you know, we speak of Bret. You know, and I feel bad for Bret because, I mean, he's lost so much in the past 15 years. With Owen and Davey. You know, and if you don't know who Davey is, Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, Brian Pillman, I mean, Benoit. I mean, it's all these guys, man. I mean, Rush and Rick Rude. I mean, what the hell, man? I mean, what is going on? I mean, we have to be losing wrestlers like it's like crazy. But you know, the Owen Hart thing, that's a very sore subject of me, just like that one thing. But we will get to Owen in part 2 of this. This might end up being a part 5 fucking series. I don't know. So I just I don't know how far along it is here. I think this is before we completely break it down. But we will come back to you all with part 2. So sit there, think of these great moments. Hell, even take the calls and go watch great moments of some of the guys that we've already announced.
And when you watch Benoit, don't think of what he did. Think of what he did in the ring.
That's right. So Chris Benoit, we love you. We miss you. Wish you were here, champ. Peace out, Girl Scout. And that's the bell. 9 more to go for the fall.